Sorry, I had.
Clipper Nation. Clippers are 2-3 as they get swept on the home back-to-back. And I just saw something I don't think I'll ever see again in my lifetime.
It doesn't matter.
A team start a quarter 15 of 15 from the floor. 15 of 15 from the floor is what Phoenix went. The Clippers still had their chances. They didn't execute well enough down the stretch again. Another inbounds pass ends up in a turnover when they had to have it. Clippers are 2-3, and Phoenix more than earned this one, down 18 at the half. We'll start your Clippers Talk show in just a little bit here. That is a brutal loss, up 18 at the half, led by as many as 21. I don't know what to say. The Suns started the third quarter 15 of 15. Find me anyone who's done better in NBA history to start a quarter. I need to know. Find it for me. The pain is real right now. I get it, Link. Everyone's frustrated. Clippers 2-3 in a game they were in complete control of until the Suns just had an onslaught of shooting like I've never seen before in my life, and I don't think I'll ever see again. I don't know if the Golden State Warriors ever did that with KD. 15 of 15 to start a quarter. I don't know what you do defensively against that, as Jay is saying absolute trash coaching. Coach Lou called 2 timeouts right away. There was certainly a sense of urgency to start that third quarter. I don't know what you do. There was a hand in the face on a lot of those shots. It didn't matter. Guys don't go 15 of 15 in the layup line sometimes. They did so with a ton of jump shots in the third quarter. And once again, the Clippers ran out of gas late, and James Harden looked tired late. Clippers lose 125-119 to the Phoenix Suns here at Intuit Dome, where they are still winless, 0 for 3. Bring back Kawhi? Like, you think they wouldn't play Kawhi if he was healthy right now? To realist? The wrongest. You think he's just sitting out for fun? If he was healthy, he'd be back, my friend. I think they were also gassed defensively. They just got picked apart at the end. Thanks, Zach. The Clippers led by as many as 21 here at Intuit Dome, but the Phoenix Suns started the third quarter hitting their first 15 shots. They come back and win 125-119 over your Los Angeles Clippers, who dropped to 2-3 on this young season. Welcome into your post-game show. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we'll have your post-game box score. We will unpack everything that happened here on a Halloween. But first, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. The Clippers fall to Phoenix after leading by 21 after a historic shooting performance in that third quarter, where the Suns started 15 of 15 from the field. I believe they hit 7 straight three-pointers, just an unreal shooting display. Carlo Jimenez, your radio voice of the Clippers, rejoins us here post-game. Carlo, I've never seen anything like it. You tip your cap to the competition. They were unreal when they had to be to get back into this ball game, and the Clippers certainly weren't good enough down the stretch once again when the game got close in the fourth.
Credit Phoenix, Adam. They were hitting shots that were contested well for the most part throughout that third quarter. The Clippers were up in them, denying ball, trying to make things tough. Like you mentioned, 2 quick timeouts from Ty Lue to try to maybe stop the bleeding, but it wasn't enough. An incredible display right there from the Phoenix Suns to march back into this ball game, erase the 21-point deficit, and come away with the victory. It started with Devin Booker, who had a season-low 15 on opening night. He goes for 40 here tonight against the Clippers, really hitting every shot. Shot 15 free throws, nearly outshot the Clippers from the free throw line, got downhill, 8 assists to go along with his 40 points and 5 rebounds. Impressive showing from D Book. And Adam, the story remains the same for the Clippers. Late turnovers kill them once again.
Late turnovers, an inbound pass leading to a turnover, reminiscent of what we saw last night. This time it was Nico Batum making the entry pass as the trigger man, and a missed free throw late by James Harden in this one as well. It's the little things that add up that end up hurting you. Credit to the Phoenix Suns, like you said, that was historic. I don't know if any team has ever started 15 of 15 in a quarter when you account for all the three-pointers we're talking about in there and all the jump shots. I was joking pregame, or excuse me, as we started this postgame, as I'm trying to go back to the pregame right now, as I feel like this is just putting us in a whirlwind with a shooting performance like that. But guys don't always do that in the layup line.
No.
When they're just trying stuff, reverse layups, putting spin and English on the ball. 15 of 15 by a jump shooting team to start a quarter is otherworldly. And the Clippers got blitzed and ambushed to start that third quarter. And once the Phoenix Suns got the lead, you said it, but it turned into an uphill battle for the Clippers in the fourth. Once they got that 6-point lead, it felt like a significant cushion, felt more like double digits against a Clippers team that was having trouble scoring.
Yeah, that quarter, Adam, they struggled, but I really don't think that's the reason they lost this game, as odd as that sounds. I mean, the Clippers took a 2-point lead into the fourth quarter. After Phoenix started 15 for 15, it was a 3-point game. All of a sudden, a corner three from O'Neal. Then he gets a steal and a score, and a 7-0 Phoenix run bumps that advantage up to 8 in the blink of an eye late in that game. The Clippers had an opportunity. Despite Phoenix's historic shooting, they had a chance to win this game. While I agree that the offense was uber impressive for Phoenix, probably next level, I don't think they do that again all year long. I don't think if you're the Clippers, you can say, well, they shot the lights out late. I mean, you had a 21-point lead. You were close down the stretch. And once again, just crumbling a little bit late. These early games where you're in clutch time and you're facing another team, that's going to add, those experiences build you up a little bit for later in the year, for playoff time, for wherever the Clippers are down the stretch trying to fight for position to make it to the playoffs. But at some point, Adam, the Clippers got to figure out how to execute late down the stretch. You hope to see that against Oklahoma City, who they'll be facing coming up here on Saturday. But opportunities for the Clips to maybe change the tides a little bit here at Intuit Dome.
And I agree with you. Even with that shooting performance, that was otherworldly. That was a shooting exhibition here. It became the 3-point shootout at the All-Star game or something like that. The Clippers still led heading into the fourth quarter. It was a tight ball game. It was another good test in clutch time. And once again, they came up short against the Phoenix Suns again. And some of those same mistakes keep happening and creeping up. And their defense got sliced and diced at times down the stretch, too. The Phoenix Suns ended up with 34 points in the fourth. As good as they were with the 39 in the third quarter, 34 points in the final 12 minutes is also impressive. And if you're a Clippers fan, well, you're saying that just can't happen against our defense. And it was guys getting wide open shots while it turned from them being contested shots at one point. By the end, the Clippers defense was a little bit out of sorts.
Yeah, and credit Phoenix, Adam, for really turning the page defensively as well in that second half. The Clippers dominated the first half. Phoenix came into this as the 6th best defense, if you're going off defensive rating, in the NBA. And all of a sudden, they just locked in on that side of the basketball. And I think it affected the Clippers a little bit because when you're scoring, you get a little bit of an adrenaline boost every time. You feel good. You're skipping back on the defensive end. But when you cannot score, you don't get that same boost of energy as you head back on the defensive side. And I think the lack of offense led to maybe the lack of effort on the defensive end. The Clippers 5 steals in the first half, just 3 the rest of the way. Phoenix turns 25 points at him off the 14 Clipper turnovers, just capitalizing time and time again. The Clippers do get back on the defensive end. Phoenix 21 fast break points, not the worst in the world. It's just another learning opportunity, and habits are forming, and the habits you don't want right now for the Clippers. We talked about it last year, but you form habits during the regular season. You form the way you build your identity, and the Clippers, while they're fighting in every single game, I think a little bit down the stretch, sloppy with the basketball. That does not want to be a theme the rest of the season.
Yeah, you're forming habits, whether good or bad. You're trending one way or the other. You're building up those patterns. And right now, Clippers are trending downwards with their play late in fourth quarters, where they just seem to start to run out of gas and just cannot execute it at a high enough level against their opponent. And we saw that late in this one as they fall once again to the Phoenix Suns, 125 to 119, this time here at Intuit Dome, where they are 0-3 to open up this new arena. Clippers let go of a 21-point lead. Phoenix with an incredible shooting performance in the third quarter, starting 15 of 15. But the Clippers had their chances late, and they simply were not good enough when it mattered most. Clippers will try to get back up off the mat to take on the OKC Thunder, the number one team in the West in the regular season last year, and they only got better with some of the pieces they brought in. Tip time for that one, same time, 7:30 Saturday night. 6:30 is when we'll have your pregame show. Carlo Jimenez, great call as always. We will talk to you on Saturday, my friend.
Got another home game on Saturday against a really, really good team, Adam. I'll take that any day. Clippers got a rest advantage. Let's go.
Coming up next, we'll get your post-game box score. After the Clippers let one get away up by 21 to Phoenix, we'll break it all down right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Thanks, Zach.
Good music, Zach. Appreciate you.
Killer.
What's up, chat? People are coming after Coach Lou here. He called all the timeouts to try to stop the runs. I mean, James Harden taking a bad three and turning the ball over, I don't think is coaching. But I don't know what you do. They don't have another creator. It's that simple right now, guys. It's that difficult for this team right now. I thought Terrence Mann probably had his best game of the season. That offensive rebound he had to get to Derrick Jones Jr. late. The other one he had to find Chris Dunn for that three-pointer. But this Clippers team, we talked about it all off season. They are missing shot makers and shot creators and guys that can just go get a bucket. And the one that they're trying to get going right now is Kevin Porter Jr., who probably had his best game of the season, 6 of 12, 14 points, but still had some really bad moments, obviously. A three-pointer he shouldn't have taken. But he still got back-to-back buckets at the end of the third quarter when nobody else was getting anything, Jonathan. That's why, I can bring up actual plays that he did, make the right play on. Do I think it's a net negative right now? Probably. I think so. However, his last three games were better than his first two, but hey, you know what I've been saying. I've wanted to see Jordan Miller out there. I'm going to turn the light back on. KPJ, he started 4 of 4. I mean, I don't think they lost the game because of KPJ. A team just hit 15 straight shots against them in the third quarter. Is that KPJ? Clippers lose a tough one late again in a similar fashion to the game they lost last night to the Portland Trail Blazers. They have a turnover on an inbounds play. This time it was Nico Batum. Grayson Allen took it away. Clippers lose a 21-point lead. They fall 125 to 119 here at Intuit Dome. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Oslin. Still to come, we'll have Clippers talk for you on AM 570 LA Sports if you want to get on tonight. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. There's a lot of overreaction happening right now in the chat on YouTube, and I understand why. The Clippers blew a 21-point lead. How it happened, though, is what I'm more interested in. They gave it up after leading by 18 in the first half because the Phoenix Suns shot the damn lights out as they are starting to go off here at Intuit Dome. I'll flip the laptop around if you're watching on the YouTube live side. I mean, Can anyone find me a team that has started a quarter 15 of 15 in NBA history? Can anybody find me that? Anybody in the chat? You think those shots were all uncontested? They were not. Plenty of them were well guarded. It didn't matter. Phoenix, when they get hot, it is different. It is incredible. That's something I've never seen in my life. 15 straight makes in the third quarter. And I want to say 17 possessions because they had 2 turnovers that didn't end with shots being attempted in the third. Devin Booker ends up with 40 and hit some big ones in the fourth quarter when the game was close, when the Clippers had their opportunity still to salvage a victory after a team put on a shooting performance like nobody. But mistakes down the stretch, a couple of bad turnovers by James Harden, bad three-pointer by him, some miscommunication defensively. He and Chris Dunn were talking about things after a possession. Late in the fourth quarter, Coach Lue called timeout. They were working things out. Man, the lights are really going out. Okay, now they're back on here. I'm going to need this little selfie cam or ring light here to light our way here on the post-game show. We're not done yet. We got plenty left to go. There's a lot of reasons the Clippers lost this game, and you can certainly point to the fourth quarter of just not being able to out-execute their opponent once again and not being at their best when their best is required. And Phoenix just playing to their talent level, knocking down shots. When they did start to get some open ones in the fourth quarter, they were slicing and dicing the Clippers defense a little bit then. As good as they were in the third, where there's not a lot you can do against that shooting, in the fourth, there were things that could have been done, and the Clippers weren't good enough. Defensively, they broke by the end of the fourth. There were 3 straight open threes. Ryan Dunn missed 2 of them, and then they finally got one to go with Royce O'Neal, which was the biggest shot of the game and the dagger in this one, as the Clippers fall 125-119 at home in Intuit Dome, where they start off 0-3 in their new arena. More Clippers postgame coming up next, right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Zach, we were getting some return there. No shame in that. Oh, Bree's in the chat. Great second half for her Suns. How dare she? How dare she? I got a challenge, Clipper Nation. You find me any team in NBA history that started a quarter 15 of 15. That's my challenge to you. I've never seen that before in my life. Jay, what players is Coach Lue supposed to go to? You're not supposed to be gassed by game 5 of the regular season. I don't think they're not executing on offense just because they're gassed. Some of the plays in the fourth quarter, yes. Not in the third. And the Clippers, they only put up 23 points in that third quarter. They actually started hot. They couldn't miss it first either. It was a shootout back and forth, and Coach Lue still sensed what was happening and called a timeout, even while the Clippers were scoring and holding on to the lead. You can keep calling out the coach, but I don't think schematically you can point to stuff. I don't. Tell me it's bad coaching, and I'm going to come back at you with 15 of 15 shooting. That's because of Coach Lue? Is that because of Coach Lue, bro? 15 of 15? Bro, have you ever seen that before in a basketball game? He's watched everything. He's watched the Lakers games back when they were good in like the 80s. I think they smoked the Kings in like a first quarter 40-10 once. 15 of 15? The floodgates opened, and the Suns, unfortunately, were the ones making some waves in that third quarter where they started 15 of 15 on the Clippers here at Intuit Dome. Clippers lose a 21-point lead. They were up by 18 at the half. They lose the ball game. Final score, Suns 125, Clippers 119. As many in Clipper Nation, at least in the chat, are melting down. Hey, call in 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. I got a challenge. Can anybody tell me what the all-time record is for most consecutive made shots to start a quarter is? Because I just saw the Phoenix Suns hit 15 straight in a quarter. I've never seen anything close to that in my life. Brutal. Clipper Nation, I'm with you. This is a tough one. The toughest so far. Clippers were in control until they weren't. Until the Suns just put pedal to metal and then hit the nitrous. Fast and the Furious comeback in that third quarter and an unreal shooting performance. And then the Clippers, not good enough in the fourth again. Mental mistakes, miscues, poor execution on the offensive end. Unreal. Clippers fall to 2-3. They're getting back after it against the OKC Thunder Saturday night, right back here at the Dome. This was game 2 of a 5-game homestand. Tip-off for that one is at 7:30, pregame at 6:30. Outside of Los Angeles, we are leaving you until then, but coming up next here on AM 570 LA Sports and on Clippers Talk on the YouTube side, we got Clippers Talk with calls coming up. It's just a night-to-night experience with some of the people in here. Like, guys, I understand you're passionate, but they win 2 over the weekend, and everything's great, and this team's going to win 50 games, and now they lose 2 in a row, and the sky is falling, apparently. Do I want to see Jordan Miller out there? Sure. I don't think Bones Highland is stopping the Phoenix Suns from knocking down these shots, Jay. This is what I'm talking about. You mentioned coaching, and you think the answer here is Bones Highland. Like, they still got to get some stops. The Suns went radioactive, as Brian Seaman would say. That is like 15 for 15 in an open gym doesn't happen. Believe me, I watch guys here all the time pregame. That was incredible. You have to tip your cap to some degree. 15 of 15 is historic. To make long-reaching conclusions over something historic happening against you and fluky to some degree, as a lot of those shots were contested, is not the way. You can't have knee-jerk reactions like that. Now, I will criticize late-game execution in the fourth when things got tight. Sergio Martinez now is saying, but is Brian Seaman? It's catching on. I love you guys. I agree. How they are losing in fourth quarters is concerning. The loss last night is much more upsetting to me than this one, to be honest. If they had played and executed as well as they did in this game against Portland, they win that game. They just knocked down some of those free throws against Portland. Now they missed one late again tonight. James Harden missed another one. It's tough right now. The Clippers also were not getting Ivica Zubats involved enough for my liking. Now, you're up 21 in the first half. How can you complain about that? You're up 18 in the half. How can you complain about that? They tried to get him going a little bit more in the third quarter. No, show me the three-point shooting in the third quarter. Show it. Phoenix got hotter than the center of the sun in that third quarter, starting off by hitting their first 15 shots, and they would come back down by as many as 21 to beat your Los Angeles Clippers with a final score of 125 to 119 here at Intuit Dome. which drops the Clippers to 2-3 on the season, and the Phoenix Suns improve to 4-1. Welcome into your Clippers Talk post-game show. I'm Adam Osland. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. You can also be listening on your iHeart app, AM 570, and now on the YouTube side on a live at Clippers Talk. Appreciate all you guys with me. We're going to get through this together, Clipper Nation. I know how tough this is to start off 2-3. I said initially I would sign up for 5-5 in the first 10 games. And then people started to say, hey, they can go 8-2, they can go 7-3. And I saw the warning signs after those 2 wins over the weekend that James Harden looked gassed. And that is the story to me. Aside from what Phoenix was able to do in that third quarter, which was historic, which was, I think, probably unprecedented. I don't know. I'm asking you, can you find any team that has started a quarter hitting their first 15 shots? Can you find anyone that has done better than that? I've never seen anything like it. I don't remember the Golden State Warriors doing that, even with KD. And the Phoenix Suns just did that tonight at Intuit Dome while shooting against the wall, by the way. For some reason, they've chosen both times to shoot towards the wall in the second half in both games here. This was just game 3 at Intuit Dome. The Portland Trailblazers went the other way. But the Clippers ended up with some of the same mistakes down the stretch. Bad turnovers, a couple by James Harden, a bad 3 by James Harden that I felt was too early in the shot clock and unnecessary. Felt like a bit of a hero shot after Booker missed a 3 out of a timeout. I think he was just trying to tie the ball game right away as they were down by 3. He did hit one to tie it at 105-105. Counter argument. I get that. The Clippers were just up by 1, though, when Harden came back into the ball game at the 6:55 mark of the fourth quarter. The damage was done, guys. An 18-point lead down to 2 in a quarter after the Suns start 15 of 15 when the Clippers weren't missing either to start the third. And then the Suns just said, we're even, we're leaving. Like, they met the Clippers to start things off in the third quarter. Both teams were knocking down everything back and forth. And then the Clippers started to cool off, and the Suns just kept going. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. 15 straight made shots. You can't do that in an open gym most of the time. They did it against defense. A lot of those shots were contested. Grayson Allen missed their first shot of the quarter, and I think it came, what was it, the 2-minute mark? It's honestly impressive. Am I upset because the Clippers lost tonight? Of course I am. You also witness history, and I'll never see that again in my lifetime. Their first miss came at the 2:42 mark of the third. I mean, just unbelievable shooting. 3-pointers. Royce O'Neal hits 2. Nurkic hit 1, I believe. Durant. Booker. What are we talking about here? Yusuf Nurkic, who wasn't shooting well from 3. They're trying to get him in the groove, but what did they start from 3? 7 of 7 in the quarter? Like, I watch guys warm up pregame all the time. 15 in a row is not easy. It tells you about guys like Steph Curry, who can hit like 90 in a row or whatever the record is with him in practice, but oh my goodness. So we'll get to the chat here. Mo Hassan said we're overusing Harden. They're trying to win games. What do you want to do? The only other guy out there who can create a little bit is KPJ. Is Chris Dunn somewhat? Doesn't obviously have that wiggle. How do you create advantages when James Harden isn't out there? Tell me how. Norman Powell also went cold in the fourth, which really hurt them. He missed, I want to say, his first 4 shots of the fourth. He had 18 points coming into it. He had some buckets in that third quarter to try to stem the tide, to hold back the flood of just Unbelievable shooting by the Phoenix Suns. I can't believe that happened. There's a scene in Boondock Saints, the original, who would watch the sequels, or guys like, I can't believe that just happened. That's how I felt watching the Phoenix Suns. I mean, the Clippers are right there with them to start. Third quarter. Beats Zubats, a dunk right away. Here we go. They're getting him involved. And one. He punishes KD. Booker, 13-foot jumper. Beats Zubats. Gets a floater to go. Booker, 13-foot jumper. Beats Zubats. Layup. Booker, 26-foot three. James Harden jumper. Kevin Durant, three-pointer. It's 79-62. They're still up 17. They were only up by, they were up by 18 to start the second half. They're still up 17, and Coach Lue had the wherewithal to call a timeout after they cut into it by 1 point. He said that was enough. 10-11 mark, full timeout. He didn't like this shooting exhibition and the Clippers letting too many shots fall for the Phoenix Suns, and I don't know what you do on some of them, but credit him. Coach Lue called the timeout. What are you supposed to do? They come out of it. James Harden misses a three. Uh-oh. Here come the Suns. Tyus Jones, floater. Nurkic hits a three now. Norman Powell answers with one. I told you, he tried to stem the tide. James Harden, missed two-pointer. KD, pull up, 13-footer. James Harden gets it ripped by Ryan Dunn, who was really good in this game, but missed some open threes late and was taken out. Devin Booker, two-point shot. KPJ comes in for Norman Powell, and this is a big moment. Norman Powell, I should mention, who went cold late, well, he took a shot, and I think was bleeding. I don't know if it was the nose. I don't know what it was. He left the ball game. Kevin Porter Jr. came in. Nurkic layup. Kevin Porter Jr. missed three. Didn't like that shot. Devin Booker then hits a three. Hey, Ivica Zubac hits a shot to make it 84-76, but they were up 18. Now it's an 8-point game. KD three. Harden tries to answer with a three. 5-point game. Ryan Dunn dunk. Phoenix had 39 points in that third quarter. The Clippers opened this game scoring 37 in the first. They were great to start. If you think all that was horrendous defense, like those shots being wide open would not account for a team going 15 of 15. They could all be wide open, and that still wouldn't happen on you. That's how fluky this is. And they weren't all wide open, guys. Trust me. I liked the energy the Clippers came out with initially in the third quarter. Offensively, they were really clicking in. They were matching them shot for shot to start. Royce O'Neal, 5 for 6 from three. A rookie goes crazy from three in Ryan Dunn, who lit up the preseason. This is someone, guys, who at Virginia made 12 three-pointers total in his college career. 12 of 51. Our producer, Zach O'Cauley, found that. His senior year is where he did most of the damage. 7 of 35 total his senior year, his last year at Virginia. Tonight, alone, as he got the start, no Bradley Beal, he hit 4 threes. He hit 7 his senior season, his last season in college. He hit 4 tonight and missed a couple of open ones still late. I'll give you the defense eventually broke. The fourth quarter defense, they were trying to blitz. They were trying to run guys off the line. And as someone else mentioned in here, the ball movement from the Phoenix Suns was perfect to find the open man each and every time when they had that advantage, that man advantage, as the Clippers were bringing it a double. It was insane. I just never seen anything like it. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Alan from Silver Lake. Alan, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Oslin. What's up, Alan? Mm. Well, they're missing this guy by the name of Kawhi Leonard right now. And that answers a lot of your problems. That right there. But unfortunately, Kawhi is still not back from the knee injury that took him out of the playoff series against Dallas. Like that's how the team is constructed. Kawhi is your guy, and unfortunately, he has been injury plagued, my friend. Allen is gone. That's the easy answer. How do they get by right now without him? Try to play 500 ball. That's all I ask. That's why I said 5-5 in the first 10 games. You sign up for that. But now you feel like you let a couple get away from you. More than a couple. 3. They could have beat Phoenix opening night. They should have definitely beat the Blazers last night in a game where they missed their last 5 free throws and turned it over 4 times in the fourth. And then tonight you're up 21. So it is painful right now. We'll take a quick timeout and I will feed you in chat because I know you couldn't hear the call, but he was asking me what I was asking everyone else, rhetorically, kind of just, well, where do you go if not Harden? People are complaining about James Harden. It's like he has the 3rd highest usage rating at the age of 35. He's not SGA, who's 27. He's not Luka Doncic, who's 25. He's 35. He shouldn't have to be doing this much, but it's the cards they've been dealt. Kawhi's still out. They're trying to make things happen. Maybe Jordan Miller next game. I don't know, because they need more juice and somebody else who can create offensively. We don't know if he can, but at this point, Clippers have lost 2 in a row. They haven't won yet at Intuit Dome. Desperate times sometimes call for desperate measures. Hey, it's still just game 5 of this regular season. Let's not blow things out of proportion, as the Joker once said. More Clippers talk on your post-game show coming up next. What was that, Zach? Oh, Zach O'Caldy, you guys in the chat, has been killing it. I know you can't hear the music because we get in trouble, but he has just had an amazing knack for finding the right song at the right time, Halloween themed, just fun stuff like the X-Men theme from the 90s, and I think this is his last night with us. And he just played the Boondock Saints, as I brought that up a little bit earlier. And going back to the point of who's going to get it done, if not James Harden, who is definitely slowing down at the end of games. For everyone talking about, oh, he'll get his his season legs will come. It's game 5 and he still is getting tired. He made some shots late. You know, what I did like about this part of James Harden's game, after he was settling for 3-pointers in the fourth quarter, guys, late, he did go downhill and get to the basket, get fouled, get to the free throw line. It was probably too little too late. It was. It's confirmed. The Clippers lost. But I did like that part of his game. He finally said enough and got towards the basket. And to be fair, as soon as he got back into the ball game, he knocked down a 3-pointer to tie it. So him taking another 3 after that, granted he had a bad turnover, but him taking another 3 after that, you might have thought he was hot. He ends up, though, 3 of 10 from the outside. I mean, he makes his next 3s, 4 of 11. It's not terrible. But after that, it was getting to the basket more. Norm missed, though, a floater. I'm wondering if that injury was playing into it. Norman Powell didn't look like himself. He missed some really good looks, including a wide open 3-pointer at the top of the arc. Like, them getting wide open shots in the fourth quarter, guys, and not making them isn't bad offense, or isn't on James Harden, or isn't on KPJ and all the people you want to blame. When they get wide open shots and they're missing them in the fourth quarter, you can attribute that to shot variance. You can attribute that to tired legs, I guess. But They created some really good looks, and they didn't make them. Norm missed 4 good looks in the fourth that he normally hits, as he last season was one of the best fourth quarter performers. Obviously had a 22-point fourth quarter against Denver already this year. I mean, I could cite how many games Harden has taken over to pull his teams across the finish line, but it's not even worth responding to this stuff. Harden's not a good superstar, turnover king. Do not trust Harden. It's like, guys, if not Harden, who? What's the solution? You're going to say to trade Harden now after 5 games? Just, head hurts. I try to prepare everybody for this. Offensively, I knew there'd be lulls like this. You get ambushed, though, with 15 straight made shots in the third quarter. I have to laugh to keep from crying. That's just insane. Deathstroke says we need Kawhi tomorrow. Great, my man. They're not even playing tomorrow, by the way. If he's not ready, he can't play. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. If anyone wants to call in and bring up some of this stuff to me and not just hide behind, the anonymous chat here. If y'all ain't scared, if you ain't scared, like Big Bro, like he stands on business. Do you stand on business? Anybody gonna call in? Oh, I put in the wrong number. Okay, that's my fault. This one. The Clippers had a 21-point lead, and they lose this one at home to the Phoenix Suns. Again, stop me if you heard this one before. They lose 125-119. Just about a week ago, they lost to the Phoenix Suns here at Intuit Dome. But this one, I don't know if it's more painful or less. They went into overtime in the first one, and in this one, something happened that was a basketball miracle if you're a Phoenix Suns fan, hitting 15 straight shots to start the third quarter. There have been good third quarter teams in my lifetime. The Golden State Warriors, with or without KD, were phenomenal. They would flip the switch. I never saw them start a quarter making 15 straight shots. Did the Clippers still fail to execute late in a tight ball game? Yeah. Would it have been a tight ball game if Phoenix didn't hit 15 straight shots? No. But you still got to criticize the Clippers for late game execution. It was poor. Now, some of their shots, good looks. Norman Powell had his chances. And I'm wondering, he had his bell rung something fierce. He had to leave the game if that, was part of it. He missed 3 straight at one point in the fourth quarter. Make it 2 straight. A runner he normally hits, a baseline jumper that led to a Terrence Mann rebound to Derrick Jones Jr. for a layup. You can blame all these different things for why the Clippers lost tonight. But can we at least start with the Phoenix Suns hitting 15 straight shots in the third quarter? Can we at least start there? Suns fans trolling in the chat. You can spam her. I gave you permission. In fact, we're going to dox her right now. Okay, her phone number is... I'm kidding. It's our friend, Brianna. She's a Phoenix Suns fan, and she is having a lot of fun tonight, apparently, watching all of this. Daryl in Palm Springs, I'm guessing a Clippers fan. Save me, Daryl. Save me, my friend. How you doing? Darrell, I apologize. We'll make that the 16th straight bucket made by Phoenix. Me mispronouncing that name. Why not? One more. To be fair, Phoenix found the guy in the ball movement by them was so impeccable around the perimeter. Like, you do have to give credit. If it was the Clippers doing it, we'd all be like, this is amazing. What they were doing was amazing. They found the open man every single time. Should the Clippers have been better? Yes. But Phoenix was damn near perfect. Well, I understand your point. To be fair, even when they weren't open, they were knocking them down. So they were trying to create turnovers. They were being aggressive. They were playing their attacking style defense, Darrell. And obviously, it didn't work down the stretch. And they did get sliced and diced at times defensively. When I don't know if it was just deflating and demoralizing when you do everything right and Phoenix still was just impeccable. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Well, tell me how that's on Ty Lue that Nick Batum shorts the pass. That's what I want to know. Like Nico Batum is one of the best passers you want in that situation. James Harden last night's one of the best passers you want in that situation. DeAndre Ayton made a hell of a play last night, a former Sun. I got to see the play again, I guess, with the steal by Grayson Allen. But look, I get it. I thought last night James Harden should have went to Norman Powell, which was the second option. He was wide open. That to me is not on Coach Lue. I There should be some criticism for late game execution to go around, but I don't know, Darrell. It's hard to point at just one guy. A lot of things had to go wrong, including a team making 15 straight shots. Would you agree on that? I'm with you, man. We're down the dumps. Clipper Nation has not been able to aid the Clippers to a win here yet at Intuit Dome, and they have been trying. As we heard earlier from Alan, they have been doing their best. Darrell, I appreciate the phone call. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. People love to point the finger when there's losses like this, and they love to get irate and upset and feel like something was taken from them. And that's what's great about being a fan. You're passionate. I also think, you know, you might look back on this night later on and be like, damn, Phoenix really hit 15 straight shots. Like, what do you do? What do you do against that? No can defend. No can defense. Nothing. It's you still lose a game late. I understand that part of it. And they had their chances. Harden misses a free throw that would have brought it to a 2-point lead with 106 left instead of it being a 3-point lead. But Royce O'Neal then knocks down a three-pointer. He was open on that shot as the Clippers were scrambling. And I fully admit their defense was not good enough, especially late in the fourth quarter. I don't know if that's tired legs. I don't know if that's game plan. I don't know if it's just feeling defeated because everything you have tried has not worked against this Phoenix Suns team that just hit 15 straight against you in the third for 39 points. And they had 34 points in the fourth quarter as well. And I'm sure there were some of those impending doom-like thoughts. So Clipper Nation, I totally understand where you're coming from tonight. But the wild stuff of Sis saying, hey, can we trade Harden for Book straight up? Guess what? Phoenix isn't doing that. Devin Booker's like 27. The trade this guy for this guy and just the nonsensical stuff, it's probably not that helpful on a night like tonight. Jaden said no trades needed because this team won't do anything this season, but to just make sure the Thunder don't get their pick. I mean, they got to stay in front of the Houston Rockets. We'll see. It's funny. Just 2 days ago, all I was hearing about is, man, if this team had Kawhi, they can beat anybody. This team is going to stay over 500 without Kawhi. And now after 2 losses, everyone in here is turning the other way and panicking. You can't be a prisoner in the moment. You can't be too locked in. You got to put things in perspective. Yes, these are demoralizing losses. Zach O'Call, you say, and they're panicking like Laker fans. I don't like hearing that, Zach. I know Clipper Nation's better than that. I am pointing to some people in here who are absolutely lashing out after a tough loss. Get it out of your system. Hey, we're doing Clippers Talk After Dark later. Maybe there will be more reason and logic and rationale then. Cooler heads prevail. But right now, it's ugly. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back here. More of your phone calls at 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to your Clippers Talk post-game show here on AM 570 LA Sports. Zach Elcaldi is in his bag, chat. He was just playing Zombie by the Cranberries off their second album, No Need to Argue, which is an all-timer, and the first cassette tape I ever got as a kid. That wasn't a Christian tape or the Jackson 5. It's Halloween. We got one troll in here saying, y'all wish you were Laker fans. Ace keeps saying Kawhi's always hurt. It's the internet. I don't know what I expected tonight. It's like expecting Mike Noto not to hate on the Clippers. Impossible. He's always got this grin on his face. Can I show you to the chat? You want to do this to show the chat? The biggest Clippers hater of all time. Maybe not that far. I just feel like I've seen so many losses with our engineer, Mike Noto, who is fantastic, and we love him. But, like, he just gives me that look, and I know. I know it was a bad night. I like how Zach O'Caldy is in the chat. This is our guy. That's our producer. The man playing all the music. I wish you guys could hear it, but I might get in trouble. I don't think it was a meltdown. There's little you can do when a team gets that hot. Coach Lou called 2 timeouts right away. He called a timeout when they were up 17 still. He saw it coming. You're up 17 still. And he was like, no. We got to stop this now. They couldn't stop it. Anybody trying to call Coach Lou out for this one, I'm sure, he'll take responsibility and accountability post-game as he always does, but I know he and Jeff Van Gundy weren't drawing up, hey, be wide open on defense on the whiteboard. I don't think that was the game plan defensively. There were blown assignments. We knew there was one from James Harden and Chris Dunn who were doing a little bit of chirping with one another. Clippers lose a 21-point lead here at Intuit Dome to the Phoenix Suns. I think that's why everybody's so upset. It is Phoenix, too, and we don't like Phoenix. They've beaten us 3 times in the playoffs. Nobody else has done that. And they've beaten us twice now at the Intuit Dome. Clippers are going to have to return the favor at their place because unless there's another playoff series, the 4th round between these 2 ball clubs, they're not going to see them again here at Intuit Dome this year. I'm Adam Osland. Welcome back into your Clippers Talk post-game. Final segment here, I believe. Zach, get in my ear if that is true. The Clippers had a 21-point lead, and they end up losing by a final score of 125-119 to the Suns. Same mistakes late. Inbounds pass goes awry, just like it did against the Portland Trail Blazers. A missed free throw once again. Now I'm wondering if it might get in James Harden's head or if it's just tired legs. He once again looked tired, had 2 bad turnovers in the 4th quarter. Some ill-advised shots were taken. Some really good shots that were open shots were missed by the Clippers. And then the Phoenix Suns didn't miss in their first 15 takes in that 3rd quarter. That whole little subplot to all of this, that was pretty meaningful. And that's how you end up 2-3 And that's how you see this level of disappointment and frustration from Clipper Nation right now. 866-987-2570. Mo in Anaheim. Mo, you're on Clippers Talk, live from Intuit Dome. What's up, Mo? Well, you're the man then. You're stepping up. Was it Big Brother Jake Warner who egged you on? Hey, you got to stand on business. If you're going to scream in the chat, you got to call in too, right, Mo? So I appreciate you. You're stepping up here. What's up, Mo? I don't hate the idea. Don't get me wrong. I thought Chris Dunn could end up in the starting lineup at some point. Uh, but Terrence Mann probably just had his best game of the season too. Like he got him the first 4 points, a bucket in transition, a layup on the right side. He still can't hit a 3 right now. He's at least taking them again. 0 of 2 from the outside tonight, 0 of 2 from the outside yesterday. He had a second quarter bucket in transition. Like, if the point here is to get off to a better start, I don't think they could have started much better than they did tonight, Mo. They were up 37-20 in the first quarter, and Terrence Mann was a big part of that. I get what you're saying. It may come to that at some point. I just don't know if tonight's the game to say, here's what we got to do. Here's what's going to change things. Terrence Mann out of the starting lineup. Mann got minutes late because he played much better in this game, and Coach Lou showed him that trust. Would you agree this was his best game of the season? That's what makes it tough. It's, we want to find the answer right away. And sometimes we're just having these, I don't know, miscommunications or mislabeling of what the actual problem was. But I appreciate the phone call, Mo. Do you got anything else? Well, I appreciate your phone call and calling in like this. It makes me want to keep going with the content 7 days a week on Clippers Talk. So thank you, Mo. Mo like Mo. That's what I'm saying here to the chat. Is the solution to all of this just bench man when he had a good game? Like, that's what's going to fix things, Clipper Nation? Man was +2 in a game they lost. And I felt like the eye test lined up with his +2. He was good. He got that extra possession for them to Derrick Jones Jr. for the big layup late. That was Terrence Mann. There was a crazy possession in the first half where Chris Dunn got 2 offensive rebounds. Clippers couldn't capitalize, missed some buckets. And then Terrence Mann got one on the same possession, got it to Chris Dunn in the far side corner who knocked down a 3-pointer. Like, are you going to take away Mann's confidence right now after he just had his best game of the season and bench him? He was good tonight. I don't know if now's the time. I'm not saying, everything's on the table. You're 2-3. You know what I want to see. Jordan Miller. Watched him again in a Stay Ready game pregame with Kobe Brown. Took some video of it. Mike Kim saying 8 points is not good enough. I just don't think they lost because of Terrence Mann's lack of offense. Went 4 of 8. He did miss 2 threes. They were up 17. They were up 21. They scored 70 points in the first half. Terrence Mann was playing a bunch in the first half. 15 of 15 in the third quarter. I'm about to fall out of my chair just saying that. Does anybody have the stat on this? Anybody? I've yet to see anyone bring it up. Anybody ever started with 15 straight makes in a quarter before? Miles Johnson saying Harden splits for this season. No, they're not good. 37% from the floor, 27% from 25% from three, 37% from the field. Believe it or not, that's up from where he started coming into this game, James Harden. I'm telling you, he's having to do too much at the age of 35. You can say Harden doesn't play defense. He had some good defensive possessions in this game. I can point to one early on, and he had a really nice closeout on a Tyus Jones three-pointer in the far side corner. Like, I can point to actual plays. People want to spin off narratives and just go off, you know, I don't want to say the C word, the casual takes and the stereotyping of players. But Harden's defense, a lot of the time, has been okay. And guys, taking Harden off the court is not the solution. You might score 70 points in a game without James Harden. He's doing everything offensively. It's wearing him out. It shows itself late in fourth quarters. He started off this game shooting much better. I think he started 4 for 7. He ended up shooting 8 for 19, and some of his buckets late weren't very meaningful because the game was already out of hand. Like, the Clippers ended up with 26 points in the fourth quarter. Let me tell you something. They didn't have 26 points in the fourth quarter. Norman Powell hit a three-pointer late when it was already 123 to 116. Didn't really mean anything. Norman Powell had a layup when it was 121 to 114. The game was already over. James Harden had a layup when the game was already over. 120 to 112 with 29 seconds left. So what is that there? 7 points we can take off the board that were not meaningful. So what they really had was 19 points in the fourth quarter. And unfortunately, what they have is another loss. Here at Intuit Dome, they start off the season 0-3 at home. Clippers fall to 2-3 on this young season. They get back after it against OKC Saturday night. Tip time 7:30, pregame starting at 6:30. Before we get out of here, I do want to thank the Clippers organization. Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle, Carlo Jimenez on the call, Big Brother Jake Warner, our head engineer here at Intuit Dome. Mike Noto, our head Hayton engineer here at the Intuit Dome. The callers, the listeners, Zach L. Caldy back in Burbank, our producer tonight, spinning it. Thank you, Zach. We'll talk to you guys Saturday night, but you know what's going to happen on Clippers Talk on YouTube. I'm going after dark tonight. I'll be back in like 45 minutes. Love you all.